thrown to the floor. But if somebody squeezed your arm or hurt you, wouldn't you start screaming or something?
Immediately.
Did you see any change in her face?
She keeps following you.
I reran it on a wide screen, and there was nothing.
Yeah,
And
it's
she is,
same.
That all came
It's horrible. It's horrible. Honestly, it's horrible. And the best thing I could do is say, but I can't destroy a man. I destroy him. He's got a beautiful wife and children, and I'm not going to destroy a man for that. And you know, when I saw that at the tape, at first I said, oh, this is terrible.
Okay.
Then I saw the tape. It's my tape. I'm the one that had the tape. It's on the ceiling of this incredible club in Jupiter, Florida. And we're all leaving, and we have a press conference, right? And the press conference lasted a long time. It was like 45 minutes. So that was enough. I'm leaving with a whole big gang of people pushing left and right. And all of a sudden, she bolts into the picture. She grabs me or hits me on the arm. In fact, I'm like this with my arm up. And then he goes by, and I mean, maybe he touched her a little bit, but I didn't. It was almost like he was trying to keep her off me, right?
They were like supporting her so she wouldn't fall. She came right in there.
Like he was helping her.
Yeah.
Exactly. And did you see her fall to the ground?
No,
Okay,
she didn't.
because she talked about falling to. Now, now I must tell you, her statement changed big league, because she said, "Go to the ground." You know all this. I could read it to you. Does anybody want to hear it? I mean, I want to be accurate because I like the press to treat me. So before she knew she was on tape, she said, "I was jolted backwards." Was she jolted backwards? I mean, if she was, her face stayed the same. So I mean, I was jolted backwards. Someone grabbed me tightly by the arm and yanked me down. Campaign managers aren't supposed to forcefully throw reporters to the ground. Except she never went to the ground. She never even she never even flinched. She didn't, you know, if somebody grabs you, even one of the guys, even the bikers, if somebody grabs even a biker or punches you a little bit, you go, whoa, right? I mean, the toughest guy, the toughest woman. Look at her face, it's zero. They're going to destroy a man's life? And then I have crews saying, oh, that was a terrible thing. That was a terrible thing. Let me tell you something, folks. If I win, if I lose, I didn't need to do this. I'm doing this because I just had a beautiful grandchild with Ivanka, through Ivanka. Ivanka and Jared, beautiful, beautiful grandchild. I'm very proud. It's my 8th. I'm doing this all for them. I didn't need to do this. This is not so easy. And I had no idea, you know, maybe none of us did. You know, I had no idea the message was going to get across. It's a message of competence. You know, it's a message, it really is. It's a message of common sense, and it's a message of competence. And I had no idea that we'd have millions of more votes than we had when we had that stiff Mitt Romney, a total stiff running, who, by the way, he's a dope. He's not a smart person, I'll tell you right now. Let me tell you about Mitt Romney. That was an election that he should have won, and he lost. And he should just go away and let the big boys do it now. Because you know what? That's an election that should have been won. And you know, I'll tell you what, I helped John McCain, and at that time, honestly, that was a tough deal for him because the world was sort of collapsing, and that was a tough one. But he lost. And I helped Mitt Romney a lot, and he lost. And I said, this time, we're going to do it ourselves. Okay, we're going to win. We're going to win. So just remember that. We're going to win because of Wisconsin, I hope. Okay, a couple of more questions. How about a woman? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Great.
Also, I'm a second-generation Ukrainian-American, and I was wondering, what is your strategic... Well, I know you don't want people to know what you're thinking, but what's your...
Right, she's so smart. I don't want him to know. I don't want to tell Putin what I'm thinking. She's so smart. What you just said is, what does that say? What about Ukraine? Don't worry about Ukraine. Ukraine's going to be fine. Just don't ask me why. You know, it's just this world of politics. Mr. Trump, you said, don't forget, I'm the one that said take the oil. I was right. They didn't take the oil. You know who has the oil right now? ISIS has the oil. You know that Libya, ISIS has all that oil from Gaddafi, all of that big oil from Gaddafi. He took it. We're like a bunch of dummies. Why aren't we embargoing? Why aren't we creating a nice big circle so they can't get the oil out? Why are we taking that oil back? Look, I'm the one that says, though, I don't want to say everything. if I win, I have a good chance of winning. I'm the front runner by a lot. I want to go in there. I want to knock the hell out of ISIS. I don't want to tell all. I really mean this. I don't want to tell everybody in this room, and look at all the cameras that are going now. I don't want to tell the world what I'm going to do because they're watching. Just let me do it, folks. I will do it. You will be so happy. You don't have to know the details, okay? Let me do it. You know, I used the word before. We have to be a little bit unpredictable. We can't say, well, we're going to go and attack on March 14th, and then we're going to hit them from the front, and then we're going to hit them from the back. You know, Obama did that 8 months ago with one of the cities. He said, we're going in next week. Look, folks. You know, you have to trust. There has to be some trust, right? You trust? We've got to stop the stupid. That's why I really think your question is so great. I don't want to hear how you're going to do it, Mr. Trump. Just do it. I'll do it, okay? I love that. That woman. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Trump, Melissa wants to thank you. She's got something to say.
Okay, hi.
Hi, Mr. Trump. I was Miss Wisconsin USA in 2005.
Okay.
And,
I can see why.
thank you. You have been, I just want to say thank you. You saved me in so many ways. And in recent years, I've been struggling with an incurable illness, and I'm on home care now. It was caused by a doctor's medical negligence. And in those dark days, fighting, right now all the tubes have been removed, and I have a do not resuscitate order, and I have a 7-year-old son. And in those days, in the hospital, I received from you a handwritten letter that said, to the bravest woman I know. And
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
and you,
Such a wonderful, beautiful woman. I mean, just an amazing woman. And are you coming along okay?
no, sir, but that's okay, because I'm here right now to thank you in person, and that was my biggest dream. And I wanted to thank you because through you and your organizations, my son, who is Mexican-American, 7 years old, through your organizations, and just being able to stand on that stage with you back in 2005, the outpouring of love that came from that ultimately provided my son, when he graduates high school, with a full ride to college. And that
That's
was
great.
because of you.
And you know what we'll do? We're going to watch him. You're going to watch him, Tana.
Thank you.
Tana, watch him.
And,
We're going to be watching your boy, okay? But you're going to hopefully be around. You're not going to have anybody
Thank
watching.
you.
You're
But-
going to hopefully be around. Those doctors are going to be so wrong.
And my
But
son,
we'll be helping you.
So we thank you. God bless you. And just, you know, he's a Mexican-American. And you, because of your efforts, have sent him to college. And I've been writing letters to him for when I'm in heaven to tell him that what you've done for him, now he has a great responsibility to pay it forward, just as you have done for us. And I can't thank
That's
you
so
enough.
nice. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I'm sorry. I have to go down and say hello. Is that okay?
Thank you. Oh, God bless you. Here you go, Mr. Trump. Here you go.
Wow, what a great woman that is. That's a great woman, great mother. I remember that, and it's heartbreaking, but it's something beautiful is going to happen. You watch. Something beautiful is going to happen. Folks, I just want to say, I'd almost like to leave it on that because we can't top that. That is so amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, that little, very sad, but I think it's going to be really a story of hope, and something that is really great is going to happen out of that. You watch. But it sort of tells me, when I first did this, people would say, oh, It'll cost a lot. Forgetting about the campaign, that's peanuts by comparison. You know, I've spent tens of millions of dollars. But the big thing, I lost certain businesses, and I owned the Miss Universe pageant. I bought it very inexpensively many years ago, 15 years ago. And because of the fact that they thought I was against this one or that one, I had a hard time with television. Now, the good news is I sold it for a wonderful, I was very happy, okay, with that. But I didn't want to sell it, but I sold it. And I built it to really a very good company. We did a great job with that company. Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA. But other businesses, I sort of like the shirts and the ties with Macy's. Macy's was unbelievably disloyal because of illegal immigration. And they ended the shirt size. Who cares? I mean, it's not a big deal. But I'm doing something. Nobody else is giving up what I'm giving. I mean, when Cruz runs, he runs. If he wins, great. If he loses, great. He doesn't, you know, it's him. He's a politician. They run, they win, they lose, who knows. But these guys run for office. That's all they do. I've always heard that if you're a very successful person, you can't run for office, especially for president. You just can't run for president. And I can see it. I have so much false press about me. Things that are so false. Do you know, I saw the other day on television, there were like 50, did you see it? 56,000 negative ads on me. 56,000. In fact, in Florida, I owned Doral, and in Florida, we had the tournament there 2 weeks ago. Adam Scott, the great Adam Scott, great golfer, he was winning. And in between shots, I told you this after the victory speech, in between, they'd have commercials, and they were all about Trump, negative, horrible negative commercials, mostly false, mostly, not all false, but mostly false, I have to be honest. But it came out the other day, I think it said $68 million, 55,000 negative ads. And when I was running in Florida, I said, how is it possible to win? I mean, with all of this, because I knew it. I mean, you couldn't turn on, in Florida, where I was, you couldn't turn on the television without seeing Trump commercials, sometimes 4 or 5 in a row. And they were horrendous, done by very, very bad people, very bad, evil people. And I said, how is it possible to win? And God helped me, honestly, because I won in a landslide. I won by almost 20%. So, and now they're doing it here, Club for Growth. It's a crooked outfit. Look, Club for Growth. You ever hear this, Club for Growth? A friend of mine comes, he's a conservative guy, calls, would you do me a favor, see Club for Growth? I said, what's Club for Growth? He said, well, they want to talk to you. I said, all right, send him up. He's a friend. He's a good guy. And now I'm in politics, so I have to see people that I wouldn't normally. You know, I'd say, give me a break. So Club for Growth, they come up to my office. This guy was, I think, a former congressman. And he tells me a little bit about Club for Growth. I'm falling asleep. And then he goes, would you contribute $1 million? I said, $1 million for what? I don't even know you. I never met you. I said, do me a favor. I'm trying to be nice. And I said, do me a favor. Go back, write me a little note if you can. And he was stupid enough to write me a note. He writes me a letter asking for $1 million. I let him know that I'm not interested. You know, you could be rich. I'd rather take $1 million and throw it all over to this room. I'd rather give it to you for your boy. Okay? And so what happens is they write me a letter. Put it in writing. I give you the letter. Some of you, has anyone seen this letter they wrote? It's incredible. They write me a letter. It's like extortion. They asked me for $1 million. I said no, nicely. And then they're doing ads all over Wisconsin. Club for Growth. They did them all over Florida. Club for Growth about eminent domain. By the way, without eminent domain, you wouldn't have highways, you wouldn't have schools, you wouldn't have hospitals, you wouldn't have bridges. You need eminent domain. If something's in your way and you're building a highway, if you're going to produce 7,000 jobs and you need a little corner of somebody's property every once in a while. You know, it's funny. These guys all want the Keystone Pipeline, right? Everyone. Conservatives. No, conservatives want the Keystone Pipeline. I like the Keystone Pipeline too. But they have a whole big thing on eminent domain in their prospectus. Because without eminent domain, they wouldn't go 15 feet. They wouldn't be able to build it. So they have a whole... So they don't want eminent domain. They do commercials about eminent domain. They love the Keystone Pipeline. And the whole Keystone Pipeline is based around eminent domain. Because you got to go from Canada, where Cruz was born, to Texas, where he's representing. Think of it. This guy. And don't forget that. Remember what I said. I'm going to win. Just remember what I said. I'm going to win. And I thank you, baby. I thank you. She's saying, oh, please win. Oh, you are so amazing. You are so amazing. I'm going to win. But remember this. if for some reason he does, it gets the nomination. The first thing, just remember, I'm a good prognosticator, I'm a good predictor. The first thing that's going to happen is the Democrats are going to sue Ted Cruz. He was born in Canada. He lived there for 4 years. The head of the Harvard Law School, one of the top people in the business in terms of Constitution, is saying that, you know, he's wrong. And we have other people that are much stronger than even that. So remember this. If Cruz gets lucky and he wins, and the only way he can get lucky is if he doesn't get, because it's all establishment. You know, if I go into that whole mess of the convention, I'm not the establishment. I don't take their money. I don't hire their people. I don't do any of that stuff, okay? So you have a disadvantage. But if Cruz wins, remember what I said. Just remember. Again, he's not going to win, but if he does, if he gets the nomination, within the first few days, he will be sued by the Democrats that he doesn't have the right to be president. And I think they're right, because he wasn't born on our soil. He wasn't born. He's not a natural-born citizen. He's not a natural-born citizen. I don't like to make a big deal of this, but it was just brought up by somebody. He is not a natural-born citizen. So if for some reason he should get the nomination, I really believe you're wasting your time. And boy, do we have a problem. Because you're going to have somebody that's going to be sued, probably will lose the lawsuit. Again, he was born there, lived there for 4 years, mother was there, the whole thing for a long period of time. And he was a Canadian citizen, joint with U.S., until 14 or 15 months ago. Did anyone know that? So he's a senator from Texas, only because of the great Sarah Palin, by the way. Without Sarah Palin, he could have never won that election. It was a fluke. But he was a senator from Texas. He's a joint citizen. Now, he finally gave up his citizenship to Canada like 16 months ago. He said, oh, I didn't know I was a citizen of Canada also. Does anybody, just like he didn't know that Goldman Sachs and Citibank gave him money? I mean, this guy is, you just have to study it, folks. Look, again, I'm doing this. We're going to win. We're going to turn this country around. We're going to make America great again. And we're going to win a lot. But you have to know the facts. I love you all. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Get out there and